Mm, cool. So, what will be the ideal timing for a student to prepare for the GMAT test, if I were to ask you?
So if you're thinking about going to graduate school and getting an MBA, or going to business school and getting an MBA, it's a long process. There's a lot involved, not just for preparing for the GMAT, but just in researching schools and programs, actually filling out and completing the application. There's lots of steps to it. So first thing I would say is the GMAT is only one part. It really will take you at least, if you really want to prepare well, 9 months to a year before you can actually begin, applying and going to school. In terms of studying for the GMAT, I tend to recommend that students study anywhere from 3 to 6 months to prepare. Anything less than 3 months will be will actually not be a lot of time. Time can go by really quick, and to know what to work on, it really helps to have the time to study, not feel rushed, be able to learn all the question types, the strategies. So I have a friend right now who's been studying for about 5 months. He's going to be taking the test next month, and he's feeling a little worried. I think he might even sign up and have to take it a second time. So be prepared for putting in at least 6 months for your preparation. Okay, so that's a big question. There's a lot to do in those 6 months. We actually provide our students free study plans that are 3 months and 6 months long. So I'll try to give you an idea of what those are like. So if you're going to study for the GMAT and you have 6 months, one of the first things that I would do is just take a practice test, cold. Don't study, don't practice at all. Take a practice test and just see where you're at. It's important to know where you're beginning. Once you've done that, then it's a matter of deciding where your strengths and where your weaknesses are. Some students are strong in math, and they need to work on verbal. Some students are strong in verbal and need to work on math. So you'll first need to kind of diagnose your own strengths and your own weaknesses so that you can develop the best study plan. From there, you are going to want to work through some resources. I've mentioned the official guide to the GMAT as one important resource. Magoosh is a great resource. It's online. There are a lot of forums out there that you can go to, like Beat the GMAT and GMAT Club, to get questions answered and also to read about strategies. Ultimately, your goal for the 6 months is to figure out what is on the test. So researching concepts like, do they test beyond triangles or geometry, or are they going to ask me about how to conjugate verbs in English? These are all questions that you should figure out early on in your studies. The next thing that you want to look to is the question types. So know the question types, know the directions, learn those early. For example, data sufficiency questions have five answer choices that are always the same. They never change question to question, so you should memorize those fairly early. During this time, you're going to want to be reading as much as you can. We always recommend that students read the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, the Atlantic Monthly. These news sources not only are what business leaders read around the world, but they also contain the type of language and grammar that you can expect to see on the test, and they'll help you to get ready for reading passages. So the preparation isn't just doing practice problems. It's making sure that you're doing something every day that's going to help your reading comprehension and analytical skills. Some other things to look for and study are common wrong answer types. Try to look for patterns in the answers that are provided. This is a standardized test, and they didn't only standardize the question types, but they also standardize the common wrong answers. So if you get good with identifying those, it'll make it a lot easier to eliminate answers and get to the right answer. So for the first month or so, I would say you're learning about the test, you're becoming comfortable with the question types, you're doing practice problems, and also start practicing and working on your weaknesses. So when you found a weakness, go online and find videos that might address this skill. As I said before, the Manhattan books are concept or question type and improve in that area. And then as you get into month 2 or 3, you're going to want to start thinking about your pacing and strategies. So how long do you spend on a question? When do you know to skip? You need to know the answers to these questions. And so usually in month 2 or 3, you're going to start doing timed practice so that you can get used to working with a pacing strategy. I always recommend that a student take as many practice tests as they can. Save one practice test, or I should say probably save 2 practice tests for the last 3 weeks before your test. But also, if you're using the Manhattan book and you have GMAT Prep or you use Magoosh 2, you can get at least 8 practice tests, maybe 10. And doing the practice test is excellent because, again, it helps you to focus on your pacing strategies, but it also gives you a sense for how long the test is. It's going to be very exhausting. You have to stay focused on very difficult passages and problems for a long period of time, and that doesn't just happen. It only comes through a lot of practice. So over the course of 6 months, lots of reading, lots of work with your analytical skills, and do as many practice problems as you can. Obviously, this is fairly general, and each student needs something a little more specific, but this should get you started.